Have you ever loved someone so deeply that even death couldn't keep you apart? In ancient Greece, they told a story that captures this very essence. A tale of love so powerful it transformed death itself into eternal life. This is the story of Acis and Galatea, and the destructive jealousy of the mighty Cyclops Polyphemus. Our story takes place on the sun-drenched shores of Sicily, where the crystalline waters of the Mediterranean Sea kiss the volcanic slopes of Mount Etna. Here lived Galatea, a sea nymph of extraordinary beauty. As daughter of Nereus, one of the ancient sea gods, she spent her days gliding through the azure waters, her presence bringing life and vitality to the seas around her. But Galatea wasn't alone in these waters. A young shepherd named Acis often brought his flocks to graze near the shore. He was the son of Faunus, a nature god, and a river nymph, making him semi-divine himself. His gentle nature and striking beauty caught Galatea's eye, and soon their hearts became intertwined in a love as pure as the springs that flowed down Mount Etna's slopes. The lovers would meet in secret coves along the shore, sharing tender moments away from prying eyes. Acis would play his shepherd's pipe, filling the air with melodies that made even the birds stop to listen. Galatea would emerge from the waves, and together they would spend hours sharing stories, dreams, and promises of eternal devotion. But their happiness was not to last, for they had caught the attention of Polyphemus, the most fearsome of all Cyclops. This one-eyed giant, son of Poseidon himself, towered over the landscape like a walking mountain. His footsteps shook the earth, and his voice could thunder across valleys. And he, too, had fallen desperately in love with Galatea. Polyphemus tried to win Galatea's affection in his own clumsy way. He would leave her gifts of ripened cheese, freshly picked berries, and even captured bear cubs. He combed his tangled hair with rake-like implements and trimmed his bristly beard, attempting to make himself more appealing. The giant even composed love songs, though his booming voice scared away all creatures within earshot. But Galatea's heart belonged to Acis. Each rejection from the sea nymph only stoked the fires of Polyphemus's jealousy. The giant's love began to curdle into something darker, more possessive. He couldn't bear to see Galatea with another, especially not with a mere shepherd, divine parentage or not. One fateful day, Polyphemus spotted the lovers resting together in their favorite cove. Hidden behind a rocky outcrop, he watched as they shared tender words and gentle caresses. The sight drove him into a murderous rage. His single eye burned with jealousy, and his massive hands began to tremble with violent intent. In a moment of blind fury, Polyphemus tore a massive boulder from the side of Mount Etna. The rock was so enormous that even 100 oxen couldn't have moved it. Yet in his rage, the Cyclops lifted it as if it were a pebble. With a terrible roar that echoed across the island, he hurled the boulder toward the unsuspecting lovers. Galatea, being a sea nymph, quickly dove into the safety of her waters. But Acis, despite his divine blood, was not so fortunate. The massive rock descended upon him with the force of an avalanche. In his final moments, Acis called out to his parents, begging for their divine intervention. Galatea's heart shattered as she watched her beloved crushed beneath the enormous weight. But the gods are often kind to lovers, and they heard both Acis's dying prayer and Galatea's grief-stricken cries. As his blood flowed from beneath the boulder, something magical began to happen. The crimson stream began to clear, gradually transforming into pure, crystal-clear water. The blood of Acis, son of a river nymph, was becoming a river itself. First, tall reeds emerged from the ground, and then the stream grew stronger, carving its path through the rocky soil. Where once lay the broken body of a young shepherd, now flowed a rushing river, its waters as cool and clear as mountain springs. This river, which still flows today in Sicily, became known as the Acis River. Its waters spring forth from beneath the earth, a testament to the enduring power of love. Through this transformation, Acis achieved a kind of immortality. Though he could no longer hold Galatea in human form, his waters would forever embrace the sea where his beloved dwelled. The story of Acis and Galatea reminds us that love has the power to transcend even death itself. It teaches us about the destructive nature of jealousy and possession, while celebrating the transformative power of divine love. In the end, Polyphemus's attempt to destroy their love only succeeded in making it eternal. This tale has inspired countless artists throughout history. Composers have set it to music, painters have captured its dramatic moments on canvas, and poets have retold it in verse. Even today, visitors to Sicily can stand where the Acis River meets the Mediterranean Sea, witnessing the eternal reunion of these legendary lovers. In every rush of the river's waters, in every wave that crashes against Sicily's shore, we can still hear echoes of this timeless story. It reminds us that true love, like water itself, cannot be destroyed. It merely changes form, finding new ways to exist, to flow, to endure.